Hello, everyone. Please mind my discrepancies, as I am in the process of enduring such suffering. Gosh, gosh. We can say for one. And so we have myself included, yes, have um, been battling with the incongruences between what your Kabbalion, right, or your Hermetic principles touch, have uh, outlined as masculine and feminine, and we're back to this issue of transgenderism, something that I wish to transmute. And so, I myself not wish to get hurt, right? And so, I myself, being a being, do not like the sword very much. It is sharp, it is edged, and it has a point. And so it is a weapon. And people say, looking at our reality, they say, what does not have lines, reality cannot exist without lines. And so, I say, think of your world, the planet. Many of you say that it is a disk. It is not. And you say, it appears flat. And I say, yes, that is the point, right? There within lies your linearity. The point is that within this flatness, it eventually rounds. We can say creates less harm than just dropping off the edge. Okay? And we can say once, maybe, in a certain time, space, dimension, that existed. And so I am reflecting back on the movie I Dream of Jeannie. And in this movie, her bottle is round. And they say, what about a bed, right? Where do you place the bed? I say, well, the bed is round. And I'll show you a picture of this. I'll draw it, right? So we have this round enclosure. And so in terms of masculine and feminine, certain delineations have been set before of masculine and feminine. They say that feminine is creative, chaotic, and unbound. Certain people have related it to roundness. And they say that masculinity is linear, assertive, direct. And that because of the creative nature of the feminine principle, given such, that it needs to be contained. Okay? And yes, there is perhaps a correctness here, right? It says there are some things to do and some things not to do. And so we look at this, right? We look at, instead of a square room, we have a round room. Instead of a square bed, we have a round bed. And so people say, well, if the bed is round, in terms of feng shui and the way that energy, gosh, I say we, or at least I'll relate it to air, or even smoke, we'll see, need not exist, right? But so the energy circulates from a starting point. It comes here, it gets trapped, right? And then we have this point, much like the tip of a sword. And then people say, you have failed. We do not like it. And so those people have said, or at least it has been said, we wish not to blame. That rather take emergence of both. I'm trying to do my best. And they say, ooh, I didn't do it right. Oh no, they say this doesn't properly depict it. But I'm saying, yes, it's still kind of the same point, right? So they say the roundness of of this bed that I've drawn here, right, actually creates more of a point. At least this one, right, a little bit more linear. The point is less acute and more obtuse. I'm sorry if that doesn't come across in the drawing. Do it yourselves, I'm sure you'll see. And so I say, okay, in terms of containment, right? And we can also say in terms of non-existence. Or rather, non-consciousness. For non-existence does not exist. Okay, I'm excited. And so, okay, well, now in terms of the energetics of the place, right? What happens is, here are your nightstands, people. You wish to place a book, perhaps a lamp, maybe an ashtray. We will see how consciousness unfolds. And so, and so now there's a roundness of energy. The energy actually circulates properly, like a breath, we can say. And then they say, well, here's the bed. We enjoy the bed. The nightstand is a hard surface. A hard surface allows for pain. People do not like blunt objects. And then I say, well, I enjoy the bed because I am soft and the bed is soft. Mind the order of things, people. I wish to be so high. And so I say, well, gosh, your cup then, we'll see. Your cup then, right, sits upon the flat surface because it itself is hard. There are thoughts here and I am having a hiccup. And so I say, well, why not allow the end table to be soft? And then they say, well, if a cup is soft, it holds no shape. And that there needs to be a certain structure, and then they say that is why we have bones. And so a thought has come along, they say, well, bones are porous in a certain way. That could or could not be true. And then I think, though, of malleability rather than adaptability. Adapt is to fit into a situation that one should not be in and is forced to be. And maybe that is what has come through in the grave. And so, plastic, people. This is not a good example. This is a rigid plastic. However, let me find another example. This plastic is a better example. I can press in on it, and yet it holds shape. Do I tell them now? Do I tell them now, I ask myself? Part of me wants. Do we?